So exciting. There may be more heartbreak on the horizon for the Ottawa Charge fans, as the league adds two new teams in Seattle and Vancouver. That's the exciting part. An expansion draft will take place today. But that means each of the inaugural 6 teams will lose 4 players each to one of the new squads on the West Coast. Emily Clark, Gwyneth Phillips, Rania Savalainen, and Gabby Hughes are protected and cannot be chosen. Here to tell us more about the draft and how it will work is TSN's Kenzie Lalone. Kenzie, good morning to you. I have a lot of questions for you. Oh, let's see if we got Kenzie, because I do have some questions for you, Kenzie. Okay, we got you there. Okay, Kenzie, Charge fans have already had to say goodbye to 2 players in this expansion process, Emergence Mashmeyer and Danielle Serdachny. Now, who are off to Vancouver and Seattle, respectively. What kind of loss is this for the Charge, first of all?
It's so significant. I think of Emirates Mashmeyer in particular. She will be the netminer now for PWHL Vancouver. She just represents first for this organization with the Ottawa Charge. She was one of their original free agent signings alongside Captain Brianne Jenner and Emily Clark. She was the first goaltender in the league to reach 1,000 saves. She's been the heartbeat of this team and a fan favorite for the first 2 seasons. And now she will be leaving and will be the backstop for this brand new Vancouver team. And when I think of the Ottawa Charge and this loss in particular, they opted to choose Gwyneth Phillips, which I do believe is the right choice. But what this is representing is a loss of this goaltending tandemship that the Charge had this year, whether it was Gwyneth Phillips or Emirates Mashmeyer. They could really have a pick of the litter as to who they wanted their starting goaltender to be, because they're both so strong. And so now with Mashmeyer leaving, that leaves just Gwyneth Phillips. So I feel for Ottawa because they will no longer have that strong tandemship. And then for Danielle Serdachny, she's going to head off and join PWHL Seattle. And to me, this just represents a loss of a building block here for Ottawa. General Manager Mike Hirschfeld selected her first in last year's entry draft. She has so much experience. She's only 24 years old, but she's represented Canada at 3 world championships. We've seen her score critical goals for this team over the course of her inaugural season. And so for her, it's such a loss of a power forward, someone who has size and an excellent shot as well. So these are 2 huge losses. But I will say these are Alberta girls. Mashmeyer from Bruderheim, Alberta. You've got Danielle Serdachny from Edmonton, Alberta. So now that they're kind of closer to the West Coast, a little bit closer to home for them. So it's exciting. Bright futures for them with their new teams.
Kenzie, tell us how this expansion draft is going to work today after the exclusive signing window has wrapped up.
Yeah, so the goal here for Seattle and Vancouver with the exclusive signing window and with the expansion draft is to come out of this process with a 12-player roster each. So each team has gone ahead and signed 5 players as they move into now this expansion draft tonight. They'll each walk away with 7 players to each total 12 players collectively. Then they'll move on to free agency, and then they'll move on to the entry draft to round out their rosters. But this is an incredible opportunity for these teams to select the top talent in the league. Players that are available in this expansion draft are players that have 1 more year left on their contract and players whose rights are still held from the team that originally drafted them. So it'll be a tough sight for fans as they'll watch this draft unfold here tonight and see some of their fan favorites leave and join these brand new teams. But it's exciting for these new squads in Vancouver and to Seattle to really continue to build these teams from scratch. It'll be a fun process.
So we know that Clark, Phillips, Savalainen, and Hughes are staying put. Who do you think the Charge is still at risk of losing to Seattle or Vancouver?
Yeah, you touched on it. So each team can only lose a total of 4 players. So that is good news. Ottawa has lost Serdachny, they have lost Mashmeyer, so they can only lose 2 more. And for me, whether you're Seattle or Vancouver, it's all about need. What do you need? Do you want to get a top defender? Do you want a skilled forward? And when I look at the Ottawa Charge and some of those top candidates that could maybe be lost here in this draft, my eyes go straight to that defender tandemship in Ashton Bell and Jocelyn Larocque. Larocque, how strong they were throughout the PWHL finals. Jocelyn Larocque. You always hear players, coaches, teams say, when it comes to the finals, you need a shut down, strong defender. Well, Jocelyn Larocque can do just that. And for Ashton Bell, that's a strong two-way defender, former forward as well. So she has that uptick to her game. And then if I'm looking at a top forward that a team could steal here from Ottawa, I'm going to look at Manny McMahon. We saw her have such a strong first season in this league, speed, shot. So those are maybe three players here that Charge fans are going to have to watch for, as they're such quality players and could very well be moving on to new teams.
Well, listen, this is exciting stuff no matter how you look at it, but it's too bad that we are losing some of our key players to this expansion draft, to PWHL expansion draft. And we really thank you, Kenzie Lalone from TSN, breaking it down for us. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right.